Hello everyone, dear ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to this new video. It's great to have you back with us. In today's video, we have something even more compact than compact, the new and undoubtedly smallest chainsaw from Makita. Specifically, we're talking about the 12-volt model, the Makita UC100DZ. This is a super compact one-handed chainsaw with a brushless motor, a 100mm bar, all powered by a 12-volt battery. In this video, we'll thoroughly explore what this chainsaw has to offer, whether it's worth it or not, and for whom it's a good investment. So, without further ado, let's get started after the intro. If you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe to this channel for free and activate the notification bell to never miss a video again. The latest prices for this gem can be found in the video description below. Thank you very much for your support, and now let's jump into the video after the intro. In today's video, I have once again a super compact cordless chainsaw from Makita for you. But this time, it's not about this one here, the 18-volt model. No, we're testing the 12-volt counterpart. What we can truly expect from this extremely compact chainsaw is something we'll thoroughly explore in this video. For those of you who might think, wait, why do I need a 12-volt chainsaw? I prefer my 18-volt system. Well, in that case, I recommend you watch this video again. The Makita DUC101, the 18-volt model. I will link this video for you up here on the info card. But now, let's focus on the 12-volt model, the Makita UC100D. As you can see, the product box of the chainsaw is relatively compact. It's evident that this is the solo variant. Nevertheless, let's take a look at what's included in the solo version. From the product box, we get a quite similar content to what was included in the previously introduced 18-volt version. This includes a sharpening guide for reviving the worn-out chain, also a small bottle of chain oil, a total of 100 milliliters, and let's not forget the paperwork, the user manual, safety instructions, and the like. Lastly, we have the actual device, the Makita UC100DZ. That concludes the content of the package. The product box is empty. However, we have everything we need on the table to put the chainsaw into operation. The only things that might be missing are the batteries and a charger. You either already have them or need to purchase them separately. I'll also list the links for those in the video description below. So much for the exterior. Now let's take a close look at this beautiful device. And when we zoom in, you can immediately see the familiar Makita quality. This means the tool is made of an extremely robust housing. It gives a very solid impression, and the chainsaw's craftsmanship is of very high quality. There are no plastic residues. The edges are evenly finished, and especially in the rubber area, it's very clean and precise. The next thing that stands out is the 12-volt device is extremely compact, highly maneuverable, and incredibly lightweight. Essentially, just like its 18-volt counterpart. You might wonder, what are the differences between these two devices? If you're interested in a comparison video, please write it down in the comments below and I can make a video later on. I'll link it up there on the info card. In today's video, however, we'll exclusively focus on the 12-volt device, which, as I mentioned before, is extremely compact. You can see it here in my hand. The overall length without the battery is only 360 millimeters. Additionally, it's extremely light. Let's weigh the solo version here, just 1,200 grams without a battery, and with a 12-volt 4 ampere-hour battery, it comes to a total of 1,600 grams. This means in combination with this large battery, it weighs around 1,600 grams, which is still incredibly light. Speaking of the battery, it's worth mentioning that the 12-volt device can only be operated with Makita's 12-volt max batteries. So whether you use a 2 ampere-hour or a 4 ampere-hour 12-volt battery, it doesn't matter. However, I personally recommend using the largest battery possible, which means the 12-volt 4 ampere-hour option. The battery is inserted from the top into the battery compartment, securely clicks into place, and as a result, the device remains very, very light. Furthermore, with the 4 ampere-hour battery, the tool is very well balanced. The center of gravity lies roughly in the middle of the trigger, which is advantageous for handling. The handle itself is fully rubberized, making it very non-slip and, in my opinion, ergonomic. This means the chainsaw can be comfortably gripped and controlled securely. Speaking of safety, on the bottom we find a contact guard, also made of black plastic, to prevent accidental injuries when cutting trees or bushes. Let's continue with the controls. The Makita UC100D has a similar system consisting of controls. Up here in black, we have a small button for unlocking. Simply press it downward. Directly below is the trigger for activation. It's large enough to operate easily, and it's designed to be equally accessible for both right and left-handed users. Just above that, you can see the second handle of this small mini chainsaw, also rubberized for a secure grip, and as you can see, very nicely rounded. This handle allows for stabilizing and guiding the chainsaw, as well as applying pressure to the saw much more comfortably. Whether this is useful or not, we'll see in the practical test later. But the possibility of applying pressure from the top is definitely available with this chainsaw. To prevent any accidental injuries, the Makita UC100D also has a contact guard at the front, as you can see here. This folding cover ensures that we cannot inadvertently place our hand into the running chain. However, during cutting, the cutting material pushes the cover upwards automatically, so it does not really hinder the operation. The Makita UC100D has a 100mm long bar. Effectively, you can even use up to 110mm, making this tool suitable for smaller cuts due to the compact battery system. Furthermore, this chainsaw has a chain pitch of 0.325 inches and a groove width of 1.1 mm when the chain is removed. So, when buying additional chains, you should take note of these specifications. But, as mentioned earlier, the package comes with a suitable 80 TXL chain included. Lastly, there's also the sharpening guide, which allows you to re-sharpen the chain when it wears out. The next practical feature of this chainsaw is related to chain tensioning. With this tool, you can tension the chain completely without any tools, thanks to the quick tensioner, and it just takes a few seconds. For this purpose, the chainsaw has the mentioned quick tensioner on the left side. It has a small handle. Simply flip it backward, and then you have a practical lever to loosen or tighten the bar. After removing the cover of this small mini chainsaw, you can see that there's no additional adjusting screw or similar mechanism to manually tension the chain. The quick tensioning is done with a small spring. This means simply loosen the cover briefly, and the bar or chain will automatically tension with the integrated spring. Then tighten it back, and the tensioning process is complete. Both the chain placement and tensioning are extremely easy and quick, requiring no tools. What else is worth mentioning is the chain lubrication. There's no need to manually lubricate the chain as it's done automatically. For this purpose, you'll find the chain oil tank on the other side. It can hold a total of 55 milliliters of oil. That might not sound like much, but it is sufficient for many cuts with the chainsaw. And don't forget, as you can see here, there's also a quick release mechanism. Just press on it and we have a lever to easily open the tank. And now we've come to the most important point, how the chainsaw performs in practice. Regarding the power, it's important to mention that the compact 12-volt chainsaw from Makita comes equipped with a powerful brushless motor in the handle. This motor provides the chain with ample power, resulting in a maximum chain speed of a solid 8 meters per second in practice. In the practical test, I evaluate the performance of the small 12-volt chainsaw with the large 4 ampere-hour battery on different materials. I started with several freehand cuts on 35mm and 65mm branches. It's evident that the chainsaw handles these without any issues, and I must say that due to its low weight, it's very comfortable and safe to use. Next, I wanted to see the maximum performance of this small chainsaw. That's why I tried cutting 50mm oak wood, which also presented no difficulties for the chainsaw. I then repeated the test with an oak log measuring 80mm in diameter. It should be noted that the chainsaw struggled a bit with the 80mm log, but it's still possible to cut 80mm thick hardwood effortlessly. Finally, I repeated the test with a 95mm log. Even here, the bar was almost fully utilized, and though it took a few seconds longer, the chainsaw had no problem cutting through the 95mm log as well. It's important to mention at this point that the upper handle may lead one to apply more pressure on the chainsaw, which is not really beneficial. In the practical test, the overload protection often kicks in when too much pressure is applied. I found that it's sufficient to place 2 or 3 fingers on the head of the chainsaw. This is enough for the chainsaw to have a smooth operation and cut through the wood without any problems. Finally, I conducted a stress test with this small chainsaw on a dimensioned timber, 80 by 100 millimeters, making multiple cuts, and the results were the same as before. Now, let's address the most crucial aspect, the battery consumption. After all the cuts, the large 4 ampere-hour battery still showed 3 out of 4 bars, which, in my opinion, is acceptable. By the way, for those interested, I'll link the detailed test video of this chainsaw up there on the info card. So far, so good with this compact 12-volt mini chainsaw from Makita, the UC100DZ. The question now is it worth investing in or not? In my opinion, definitely yes. However, the question is, for whom? Personally, I would say the investment is worthwhile for anyone in need of an extremely compact and powerful cordless chainsaw that can easily cut small branches up to a maximum of 95mm with one hand. Of course, this is assuming you're already using the 12-volt platform. If not, then perhaps considering the 18-volt model, which I've already tested, might be a better option. And now it's your turn. What's your opinion of this compact 12-volt chainsaw from Makita? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm very eager to hear your feedback. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please show your support with a thumbs up to support my work. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for free and activate the notification bell so you never miss a video in the future. You can find the current prices of these saws in the video description below. Thank you very much for your support, and with that, take care until next time. Goodbye.